and let's say we abandon it. Let's say we do anything. So tutu tata boba. Confirm. And then we edit again, and then let's abandon. Boom. Now it's unclaimed. We abandoned our booth, and we claimed it. Today we're going to be continuing the booth tutorial. This is going to be part 3 because there is a few errors that I had last tutorial. Well, there's one small error, and we're going to be adding a few new features, such as the filtering text, right? So if you want to have a bad word in this booth, it's going to be filtered, and so no little kids will see it. Basically, and I think it's safer for your game too, because you don't want your game to be banned. I'm not sure if it could get banned because of this, but you do want your text to be filtered because it's just safer practice. You don't want people to have bad boy words, not bad boy, big boy words on their booths. But basically, that's all we're really doing in this tutorial. Yeah, and the errors that I mentioned, it was when you leave, it doesn't unclaim the booth, right? So when a player has a claimed booth and he or she leaves, we want the booth the player claimed to be unclaimed, right? So that's the error that I didn't actually realize I actually fixed, or I didn't even really script in anything to fix that error, but it was really just me forgetting stuff, so whatever. Also, we're gonna add an abandon booth button, because why not? So a player can abandon their booth if he or she wishes to. So let's actually start with fixing the bug. So right now we're gonna go on server script servers, and we're gonna go on the player join server script. All right, now let's make a player removed event to detect whenever a player leaves. So we're gonna do game player removing connect function, and this is the player that is leaving. All right, so whenever the player is leaving, we want to see if the player has a booth claimed, and if the player does have a claimed booth, right, we want to unclaim that booth and set it back to normal. All right, so local claimed booth equals player that claimed booth. Actually, we can just do that value because it's a object value. If claimed booth, then so if the player has a claimed booth, we're gonna set it back to normal and have it unclaimed. So first thing first, you don't have to set it to nil, because the player's gonna be leaving anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we're just gonna set it back to normal. So for example, the top sign, the bottom part, let's start with this. So claim booth dot bottom part dot surface GUI dot player name dot text equals unclaimed booth. I think that's how I had it before. It doesn't really matter. That's for the bottom part, and then now we can have the top sign. Let's reset the top sign stuff. So top sign surface GUI dot text, let's set it to dot text. So claim booth dot top sign dot surface GUI dot text equals was put like dot or something, or just set it to nothing, just a space. So this is the top sign, the bottom part, and then we can just reset the image. All right, so now we just set the image. So surface UI dot image label dot image equals, and then we set it to nothing. Okay, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. All right, I think that's it. Anyways, now that's just for the text. We also want to reset the proximity prompt, because if you remember, we did disable it as soon as the player claimed the booth. So let's re-enable the proximity prompt. So claim booth dot prompt dot proximity prompt right here. Proximity prompt. Okay. Let me make sure I spell it correctly. That enabled equal true. And I think that should be all. Okay. We can set the name again to claim, but it doesn't really matter. The proximity prompt action text will be claimed, like the word claimed in general in the server. But whatever, it's whatever. All right, so this should work right now, theoretically. So let's test this out. So we are here now. Let's claim this booth. Player 1's booth. Now let's actually go on player 2. We're gonna just stay right here. Then we're gonna leave with the other player. So if we leave right now and we check on this player, it is now unclaimed. Oh, I don't think, so I didn't make it enabled. What? Okay, that's weird. Oh, there's an error. There is an error. Enabled. Oops, my bad. Enabled. I spelled it wrong. So right now, if we claim this booth right now, we have claimed this booth, and let's leave and see if this works. Okay, go on. Oops. And as you can see, it's unclaimed, and we can claim it back with us. Nice. All right, so that's one thing down the drain. Now, what we want to do is make an abandoned button, which is basically going to use the same stuff, but except instead of the booth unclaiming after the player leaves, we're just going to have the booth unclaim as soon as a player wants to abandon their booth, right? So it's going to be just a button right here. So let's actually go back to these edit GUI. Now I actually did I did make the button off camera, but if we go back, actually forgot, but basically what we're gonna have here is an abandoned button. Now let's say all right. Yeah, basically, you know, I'm not really good with making UI. I mean, I'm kind of good. But basically, you can have this anywhere. All I did was copy this confirm button and then recolored it and named it abandoned booth. That's all I did right now. I didn't script it yet, so we're gonna do that right now. So let's go on the edit booth script. Let's make a variable for the abandoned booth button. So local abandoned booth. I don't think I spelled it right, but whatever. Equals edit frame dot abandon. All right. So now, abandoned booth, that mouse button, one click, connect function. All right, so before this, let's make a remote event. It's gonna be called abandon booth. Okay, game that replicates stores that wait for child, abandoned booth, fire server, and I think that should be it. All right, so as soon as we abandon the booth, let's then close this GUI. So we're going to use the same tween, I think, yeah, right here. And that's it. Let me see what else. And then we're going to also change the proximity prompt action text to claim again, because the player just abandoned their booth. So let's get the player's booth. So local player booth, or I guess you can say player old booth, equals player. Actually, let's put this before we fire the fire the remote event. Player, so that's a local player that claimed booth, that value, and then we get the proximity prompt on the client. Remember, this is a local script, this is on the client. And we changed the action text because if you remembered, I think on part 1 or part 2, we changed the action text of the proximity prompt from claim to edit as soon as a player claimed a booth. So we're going to do player old booth dot prompt dot proximity prompt dot action text equals claim, because the player just abandoned their booth. Pretty self-explanatory. So make sure you spelled this correctly. Proximity prompt dot action text. Let's make sure it's gonna be claim like in default. All right, that is it. Now, since we fired the server, let's get the event on the same player join script. So game.replicate stored the abandoned booth on server event connect function. All right, when we get the remote event after a player has abandoned their booth, we're basically gonna copy this, and I think that's really it. We just copy the booth. Of course, let's actually get the claim booth. Sorry, let's make a variable for this. So local claim booth. It's not really claimed booth, but it's the old claimed booth, I guess you can say. That's soon gonna be abandoned. Equals, this should be player in here. So player is the player the remote event is fired from. So local claim booth equals player that claimed booth that value. Oops, claimed booth that value. Actually, we will set it to nil because the player is still in the game, unlike if the player is leaving. So the player claimed booth value is going to be nil, meaning the player doesn't have a claimed booth after they abandoned it. So claim booth the value equal nil. All right, I'm actually gonna put this, sorry, we're gonna put this, let's see, actually what we should do, yeah, you could keep it local claim booth player dot claim booth dot value, and in the end we're just gonna do player that claim booth the value equals nil. So after we get the old player's claimed booth, we reset it to back to default, and then we change the player's claimed booth value to nil, meaning the player does not have a claimed booth anymore. So we're gonna actually test this if this works. Yeah, let's test this. Play here. Oops, I'm supposed to put this outside of the screen, my bad. There we go. All right, so claim booth, and let's say we abandon it. Let's say we do anything. So tutu tata boba, confirm, and then we edit again, and let's abandon. Boom. Now it's unclaimed. We abandoned our booth, and we can claim it again if you want to. But yeah, that's it. So now we finished all the abandoning booth stuff. We finished all of that. Now, last thing we want to do today is the filtering. So I went on Roblox Studio creator thingy-majingy, and I found this article right here. It's called text filtering. Now, basically, this is how text can be filtered. So there's a bunch of scripts right here, bunch of sample scripts. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, you only need 2 lines of codes. Now, there is some like pcall functions and all that. You can copy this stuff if you want, like the pcall functions and stuff, if you want to stay safe. But in reality, all you really need is 2 lines of code, which is, first of all, this one right here, filtered message. and this. Okay, so let me show you. Actually, hold on. No. Where is it? Sorry. Text object. No, this is the second one. The first one you want is text object. So filter string async is what actually filters a text, a string. So let's go back. What we want to do right now is actually what we want to do. So edit booth server. This is where the booth stuff is being edited, right? So what we want to do is instead of doing booth text label.text, we go booth text, which is the raw text, right? Without the unfiltered text. What we can do is make a variable local, and then, well, since we actually copy and paste this, let's do this. Local text object equals text service filter string async message from player ID. So this is the text. So let's change this to booth text, and from player, let's just change this to the player that the remote event is fired from, which is this player right here, the player that is changing the text of his booth. All right, now as you can see, this is text object. It's not the text, the actual string, but the text object. So apparently when you use text service, oh, and by the way, I also did forget, you do need text service. So local text service, well, it's actually spelled like this, equals game get service text service right here. My bad, I forgot to show you this, but you do need a text service for that. Anyways, so you can use this service to filter a string, and then you put the first parameter. The first parameter you want to put is the text and the player that's from, which is the player that's editing his booth. All right, so this is the text object. Now, if we actually just use this and set it as the text of the booth, it won't work. I'm gonna tell you that. We do need to convert it to a string. So, and the way we can actually do that is from the same sample right here, and you use get non-chat string for broadcast async. I have no idea what this means, but let me tell you, bro, it works. So we're gonna use this filtered message. So let's do local, put a local behind it, and you're pretty much good to go. So let's copy this, paste it into here, and we're pretty much it. Oh, my bad. It's player.user ID. I don't know, man. Oh, this is not my code, so that's why I'm kind of really confused right now. I'm so that is weird, huh? Okay, now it should work. So we just have this random image right here, headless horseman, and we're gonna be saying some bad words in our booth. So let's see if it actually gets tagged. And boom, it got tagged. Yeah, pretty simple. That's all. Not my code, but again, I'll leave the article link in the description. I'll just leave actually this, like, these two lines of codes. This, you should have this. I actually did add this back in because I accidentally removed this. But there was another tiny error, I guess you can say. But it wasn't really, it was just a little fix. So for example, if you didn't put any image ID when you edit your booth, for example, if I do like any text here and I just left this, it will actually make this disappear. So what I should do is probably, actually go to the edit thing right here, the edit frame, and I'll probably just leave this. I'll probably actually, you know what I should do? Instead of the actual text, sorry, so text box, instead of leaving the actual text, I'm thinking of, what did I do? I put, oh, the text, no, that's a placeholder text. You know what I should do? I'm not sure if this will work, but bear with me. So image, so if image ID equals, or if image ID equals, then, So if it equals to nothing, then else. I'll actually put this here. Then if not, we'll get the player's avatar. I think it might be somewhere here. So it's on this. So game the players that get user thumbnail sync, and then we'll actually add this here. So image label dot image equals this thingy majingy. I'm not sure if this works, but we'll try it. It's not really a big deal, but we are gonna see if this works. Oops, I forgot to remove this again. Let's see if this changes or not. So, hi. All right. So my avatar stays in the booth. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think I went over everything. All the different suggestions you guys gave me. Not really suggestions, but basically inquiries you had on this tutorial. The filtering, the abandoning the booth, the leaving, right? The player leaving. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Nothing much else to it. If there's anything else, honestly, just let me know in the Discord. Follow my TikTok. If you want, there's a coding book down in the description. If it might help, you might want to consider it, buying it, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.